Orale, man. Damn, feels like I've been away for a long time, forever or something, man. What is going on? Los Tres Chingones boxing. This feels great. Man, this feels great. Let's just get right into it, man. What's up to all the chingones and chingonas out there, man? Let's go ahead and let's bring in the rest of the chingones from Mike Angelino Sports, me hermano one, Mr. Mike Zavala.
What's up, Ed, man? We're at it. Back at it like a smack addict. Shout out to the gun. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know why, Mike. It just seems like I've been gone like a year or something, man. It just feels good to be here, dog. So, hey,
Yeah.
let's bring in El Gran Chingon, El Mero Mero, homie, all right? Out in Florida, this vato is out there whooping the asses of hurricanes. Hurricanes. Mother Nature can't hold this vato down, man. Of course, I'm talking about one, Mr. David Contreras.
Hey, brothers, what's going on, man? Dispensa, if you can't hear me well, I'm using my iPad for the first time. I'm at my primo's house over here in Plantation, Florida. Pero, hey, man, I've been waiting for this show all day long. And when you send the email, hey, we're on for tonight, I put al cien, and Mikey here puts it al mil. You
Yeah.
know, so from 100 to 1,000. Hey, brother, I'm excited to be on the show again with us, guys. We're ready to start a new season every Friday night. And let's get it going, man. Talk boxing, what we love to talk about. A huevo.
Yes. Saludos to Impala, Jesus M. What's up, Hectic? Andres is up in here. Dos
Tres.
Matador. Man, look at that new picture handle he's got right there. Saludos, cabron. All right. Hey, first of all, David, just real quick, brother. What you're out in Florida, man. We're all over here hearing some big news, man. Just real quick, what's going on over there?
You know what? First of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ because if it wasn't for His grace and mercy, uh, there would have been more deaths. You know what I mean? I know that they're up to 20 plus deaths so far, but it could have been a lot worse. Where I'm at in Fort Lauderdale for another week, we're getting ready to move to Tampa, where the Epic Center was going to be for the hurricane. We're moving there next week. Ya iban a tener su casa. Pero my daughter lives in Orlando, and they got hit harder than we did. Where I was at, we had 45, 50 mile per hour winds. I live literally, my backyard's the ocean, so the waves got high. They came a little closer to our condo building, but I mean, it didn't flood the streets. But where my daughter was at, within a 24-hour period in Orlando, a little outskirts city called Haines City, they had 16 inches of rain. They have a house that's pretty much hurricane proof. And they have the shutters, but their fence, their next door neighbor, one of the eucalyptus trees fell and destroyed that. Their whole neighborhood was destroyed by not the homes, but the streets. Now, the people that lived in the motor homes, their homes were all destroyed in that immediate area in uh, in uh, in that part of Florida. A lot of the motor homes were destroyed. But like I said, brother, you know what? It was people's prayers, my mother's prayers, your well wishes that everybody in my family was unscathed and little minor damages. Pero gracias a Dios that we all made it okay, and a lot of people made it okay. Thank you for your prayers.
Good, good to hear, man. Good to hear. Because all we know is whatever we hear on
Yes,
TV. You know,
yes,
that's really all we know, man. But
yeah,
yeah, well, hey, it's good that you're here, and then we can talk some boxing, man.
yes.
So, man, I cannot wait. Did you guys see the wins for tomorrow's big fight? Oh, wait, no, there's nothing really going on for tomorrow, but there's always something going on in boxing, man. Look, I was watching Los Tres Chingones boxing on Wednesday,
Uh-huh.
cada miércoles a las 7 de la noche en español. And I heard you guys' breakdown of the fights over the weekend. I kind of want to give my little 2 cents on it, man. Um, First, we'll start with that heavyweight, Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker. Look, I'm gonna agree with you, David. It was kind of a slow fight.
It was.
Kind of just two guys that were just getting winded. Um, I didn't really hear anybody explain the fight the way you did. Everybody was just like, "Hey, man, you know, Joe Joyce, you know, he knocked him out. He went in there and did what he was
Mhm.
supposed to do." And I'm like, I get it. He got the win, but man, he
Yeah,
looked slow. They
he,
both
he
look
did.
slow. They both
Yeah.
look tired. They both look
Mhm.
winded. They both look just like
Mhm.
out of it. So what happens with Joe Joyce from here? I don't know, but he's not ready for the big dogs.
No.
Nah, he's not ready for the big dogs at all. But let's get to Shakur Stevenson. Okay.
Yes.
Let's get to my guy Shakur Stevenson, who did not make weight.
Yes.
He did not make weight. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he only had one fight at 130. Am I wrong on that? Was it only against Valdez that he fought at 130? Or how many
No,
fights did he
no.
have at
He,
130?
he's been the world champion. He's been throughout his career at 130. And
No, he
he's
was at 126.
was he? I thought he was a world champion at 130. He was a world champion. I think 2 belts at 130, and then he took Valdez's belt. And there's only one more belt to unify. But he's been fighting at 130. He's been comfortable at 130, but he couldn't make the weight. Even with Valdez, he had problems. He had problems with Valdez, but he made weight. But what I had the problem is because we've talked about it on the show. You're a boxer. You're a professional. You're paid to make weight, and when you don't make weight, they give you 2 hours to come in and make weight. All he had was 1.6 ounces to lose. He could have lost them, but I believe that he knew that Consequao was going to be a challenge. So he didn't want to feel drained. Either that or he doesn't care. And when a person, a boxer at that level, a world champion, doesn't care because he says, I'm going to go to 135 anyways. We've always talked about, especially you, Ed, you've always made that's a problem when you can't make
Yes.
weight. You
Right.
know, we've seen other fighters not make weight, and you brought it up, and Mike has brought it up as something that's not just a little issue, it's a big issue, not making weight. So that's where I had the problem, that I saw him not caring. I saw him being exaltándose, being high and mighty. It's okay. I don't need to make weight. I'm going to go to 135 anyways. A true champion is going to fight for his belts no matter what. So I had a problem with that, with his attitude. That's what it is, his attitude.
Man, this thing just froze on me now. Okay. Um, I look. Um, I know the kid's getting pretty cocky.
Cocky, that's the word. Cocky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's getting pretty cocky. He's believing what people are saying about him. But look, to me, he's showing it. He's winning. I will say he did outgrow. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to see exactly where he. Okay, yeah, you're right, David. He's been at 130 for a minute.
Yes.
Okay, I thought he was okay. You gotta go back to 2019 that he was at 126. Okay. Okay. All right. My mistake. Yeah, he fought Jamel Herring and 130. Yeah, okay. Okay. Look, he's been looking big for that weight class for a minute.
Yes.
I made a little quick video on Friday saying, like, look, I don't even really care, just for my own selfish reasons, because I want to see him move up. But I will agree that, look, it's not a good look, especially that it was at his hometown. It was
Yes.
over there, I believe, in Newark, New Jersey.
Yes.
For him to get stripped on the scale.
Yeah.
And yeah, he didn't care. And I'm not going to defend him. Okay, I'm not going to defend him. But when he's looking forward and saying, like, look, I'm not going to unify here at this weight class. Okay, I'm not going to unify. All the big fights, all the real money fights are going to be moving forward. So is it on him? I'll ask you guys this. Is it on him or is it on his team to be like, hey, man, you got to make the weight? I mean, we all, put finger on the fighter because ultimately it's the fighter's responsibility. But there's a young kid. I'm not giving him an excuse. But how much fault do you put on the team, Mike?
Yeah, no, it's part of the team. I mean, he has a His grandfather's a coach. He has Andre Ward and Crawford as mentors. He has a big circle behind. He has a lot of like good people behind him. And he's the A side once again. And you know how the A side goes. Yes, he's moving up, but you know what? Now that they brought it up, maybe he doesn't. Dude, imagine if he takes a loss versus Consacao. That will derail his big. He's the next Floyd Mayweather, right? So this is the page from Floyd Mayweather when Floyd Mayweather fought Marquez. They fought at 144 pounds, and they had the contract at a catch weight 144 pounds. And Mayweather didn't make weight. He didn't even try to make weight, and he fought Marquez. He was super big. You could tell the weight difference. That's a page from Floyd Mayweather. I've seen it before. I've seen this movie before. But the thing is, I don't like is Andre Ward says, "Oh, it was dangerous from him. I seen behind the scenes." Yeah, but if Canelo does it or somebody else does it, he's real critical. But when his friend does it, oh, it's dangerous. This is that. Man, come on, man. That's hypocritical, man.
Okay. Okay, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that, man. That it's because that's his guy, you know.
Yeah.
So that's I remember Teddy Atlas back when there used to be ESPN Friday Night Fights. I remember Teddy Atlas. He had his fighter, and his fighter, shoot, I forgot what it was, man. His fighter won, I believe, and he knew his fighter didn't win. And Teddy Atlas was no longer in his corner. He had separated from him. And he said, look, if I were in his corner, would I still feel that he lost? Yes. But would I be here on ESPN saying that he lost? No, I wouldn't. You know,
Yeah.
so I do understand backing up your guy. He's moving up to 135 to bigger and better things. And you know what, Mike, you made a great point, man. If he really needed to drain himself to make the 130, and for one reason or another, he took a loss, man, even a draw.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, dog, that it would have not, it obviously it's not going to end his career, but it would definitely put him on a different track of where he's going to at the moment. Right now, he's going to some bigger and greater things, man, bigger purses and everything. If he were to take a loss, he could have still bounced back. But yeah, man, it would have definitely, you know, took him the long way to get there. So again, unprofessional. It's at your hometown, man. You get stripped from the titles because you couldn't make the weight. Yeah, I
Hey, Ed, let me quote the great David Martinez, our boxing historian. I mean, you've
Yes.
had him on the show. The guy knows boxing. One of his best friends was, I'm quoting you, Dave, because I'm reading your text that you sent me when he didn't make weight. He said Eddie Futch, Futch, is probably one of the greatest boxing trainers ever. One of the many boxing trainers. He once told Dave Martinez this, that the two biggest disgraces in boxing, this is a boxing trainer, world renowned. He said in disgraces in boxing are not making weight and quitting. This guy said, you know what? Quitting, when we see somebody quit, we say, ya estuvo. Este vato, I mean, he's done. He quit,
over.
right? He's never
No
the
mas.
same. And you know what? He said the same thing. He put quitting and not making weight in the same category.
Wow.
We're talking about Eddie Futch, one of the greatest boxing trainers ever. So for him not to make weight, I mean, yeah, he didn't quit, but once again, it's at a level where you're a professional. If you don't think you can make weight, then give up the belts, but don't even get on the scale and go to 135. But I like the word that you said. He was cocky, you know, and I see that in him now. And we'll keep talking about that because one thing that we talked about on our show Wednesday, and it's funny, Ed, because as we're talking, el Mike goes, no, si estuviera, if Ed was here right now, he'd be pissed because he loves Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah, he loves Shakur.
Remember? But
Yeah.
Ed, I like Shakur Stevenson. I've always liked, and before this fight, and we'll talk about the fight, I saw him as the next Floyd Mayweather. I saw him as the next greatest thing in boxing. But after this, not making weight, his cocky attitude, and fighting and hitting low throughout the fight, and not knocking out. He hasn't knocked anybody out in a while. You know what? I don't know if he's the next Floyd Mayweather, and I don't know if he's the greatest thing to boxing the
Okay.
way Crawford has been saying, the way everybody else. I mean, I read social media every day.
Mm,
Everybody's making him sound like he's the greatest thing. I don't see that anymore. I don't.
man.
Wow.
Man,
Wow.
it's getting hot in
Ed,
here, man.
what do you got to say, Ed?
It's getting hot in here. Okay. Before I don't want to forget, man. Okay,
Yes.
shout outs to our good friend of the show, boxing historian David
Yeah.
Martinez.
I respect.
He sent me a package here of a couple of things. He's sent me a quite a few good things, man. Great articles that you can find on his website. That is www.dmboxing.com.
Yeah.
You find just right there. David Martinez. Go to his website. You are gonna be blown away
Yeah.
of just how much you could find there. You want to
Like
find
this-
things on Sugar Ray Robinson, you're gonna find as much as you possibly can of every fighter, man. Old school fighters. I mean, crazy. Yeah, that website is just loaded with just pure information, man. I mean, David Martinez, look, man, that is a true boxing historian right there. Go to that website again. That's www.dmboxing.com. Thank you so much, Mr. Martinez. Highly appreciate you sending me these packages. Go check out that website, Chingones. You'll be amazed. Secondly, I do want to take just a quick moment. We're going to continue, but do want to take a quick moment what Capo Rajim is saying right here. RIP welterweight Luis Quinones. So Luis Quinones had a fight over the weekend, I believe in South America. I don't know exactly the details. I believe he fought somewhere in South America. He suffered a knockout. He got knocked out. He was put into a coma. He had gotten a brain clot or something of that nature. He was brain dead and he passed away. I believe it was last night. So I'm not gonna sit here and say like I know everything about Luis Quinones because I don't, right? But man, look, we lost another warrior inside of the ring, and it's sad. It's a sad thing, man. Every time somebody goes into the ring, they are risking their lives. So we should not just pass it by, and it should be noticed. Rest in peace to Luis Quinones, man, who stepped into the ring and paid that ultimate price, man, for stepping into the ring. And I think people need to just consider that, right? We don't really see that in other sports, man. I mean, there's some rough, tough sports, football and everything, but you're not really seeing deaths like that, man. So, there's been quite a few deaths in the sport of boxing because it's a true, it's a sport of warriors, a sport of gladiators, and you do put your life at risk. So, rest in peace to a warrior right there, Luis Quinones, man. May rest in peace. But
Hey, brother, do you mind if I just read something real quick?
Yeah.
Gene Aguilera, who was also on our show. This is a shout out to him, Gene. I wanted to be there this weekend to go meet Ruben Olivares. Ruben Olivares is going to be there in the LA area. Starting tonight, he's at Maria's Grill in Downing at 6 p.m. your time in 1 hour if you want to meet Ruben Olivares at Maria's Grill in Downing. Tomorrow, he's going to be Arts District Brewing Company in Los Angeles at noon. And there's going to be several world champions. But if you want to meet Ruben Olivares, he will be there. And the last one is on Sunday at Planet Books in Single City from 1 to 4 p.m. with Ruben Olivares, Danny Little Red Lopez, Carlos Palomino, Albert Davila. And the last one is Monday, El Pollo Fino in Anaheim. Ruben Olivares and Israel Vasquez will be there Monday at 5 o'clock. So if you want to meet Ruben Olivares, man, Cholo, I wanted to go, but because of this hurricane, I had to cancel my flight. But I'm going to be going over there for 3 weeks on the 24th. But I would have been there tonight. To me, he's one of my biggest idols. He stands there with Julio Cesar Chavez. And Ruben Olivares, I mean, I wanted to be there, but someday we will have him on our show.
Yeah, and go meet Lil Red Lopez too,
Oh,
man. That'd be quite the meet and greet right there.
yeah.
All right, let's get back to Shakur Stevenson, man. You guys keep bad mouthing my guy Shakur Stevenson. Look, okay, the kid, his body's still growing. All right. I get what you're saying, David. I get what you're saying. It's like, man, he didn't look like he's got much power, right? I'm not gonna lie. That the fight against Robson Consacao, it wasn't all that like action packed, and it was okay. Um, I think once he allows his body to grow, though, I'm not gonna say he's got the best knockout power or anything like that, and that he's gonna go up to 135 and really start knocking dudes out. No. But his body still is growing. So if you're, trying to hold yourself down to a certain weight and keep on draining yourself, I don't know how much power you're really gonna have. So if you allow your body to grow in, naturally and go up to that weight, yeah, I think you can take some power. Is he gonna be knocking dudes out? Probably not. He's more known for just boxing skills, but I mean, I think he'll have a little bit of power and hurt a couple of guys at 135. There's already talks about him and possibly Lomachenko. The talk is that Devin Haney might not stick around after the Kambosos fight. They might move up to 140. So we might not even see Shakur Stevenson against Devin Haney, that it might be Lomachenko. If that is the case, I would rather see Shakur have one fight before he gets in there with Lomachenko. Or are you guys cool just him just stepping in there with somebody who's proven himself at 135?
Yeah. I'm the type that I want the fighter to get a fill out fight, maybe one or two fights. I always talk about that with Canelo, with Floyd. Get a fill out fight and then see where you're at. It's not fair. No matter that the kid, he keeps growing, but his mouth keeps growing also.
Yes,
he's annoying, but you have to be fair. Not like Andre Ward and Tim Bradley. He has to get a fill out fight. I'm fair. He has to get a fill out fight.
You know what, brother? He has to earn his way. I would like to see him fight the winner of Jojo Diaz and Camarón. That's on that's on October 29th. I would like to see him fight the winner of that, earn his way up to a championship fight. It's not fair. All these guys, Camarón, Jojo Diaz, they've been earning their way up for a championship fight. So he doesn't deserve a championship fight. I don't care if he's a world champion. He lost it on the scale, for God's sake. And like I said, I'm a fan of his, but I'm disappointed. But you want to fight Lomachenko, then go fight the winner of Jojo Diaz and Camarón. And then
but Dave, let me play the devil's advocate real quick. Yeah. Canelo didn't do that. Canelo got the belt. He got a champion. He moved up and got the champion straight up. And he wasn't disputed. Huh?
What belt? What belt was that?
He was fighting both for a belt, right?
Oh yeah. And
so I'm not a big fan of that. I'm just being the devil's advocate.
But he was already a world champion because he beat
Kovalev.
He beat Kovalev for a belt.
Okay, but how about that? Okay, but how about that though, David? He moves up to fight Kovalev.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. I understand.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I understand. Yes.
Yeah, that's why you got to get some fill out fights, man. No matter what.
Yes.
Look, I would say, okay, I'm gonna combat you here, David. Okay, you're saying
I'm fine.
Okay. You're saying Jojo Diaz is earning his way to a championship fight. Look. Yes. I love Jojo Diaz. The guy is exciting to watch, but he's losing. How's he earning his way? I mean, he's fighting guys. Don't get me wrong. And I always say, like, those guys, have a special place in my heart, and they should be recognized, man, because they get in there with everybody, and they always bring it. Even win, lose, or draw, they always bring it. Jojo Diaz is one of those guys. But he's losing his fights, though. He lost to Devin Haney. He's losing his fights. So, I mean, how is he really, working his way up to championship? He's exciting, and if they put him in there against a championship fighter, I'm not going to complain and be like, man, I don't want to see that. No, I do want to see it because he brings it. But earning his way, he's losing his fights.
Yeah, he is, but you know what? He's at 135. As a matter of fact, I think this is his first fight at 135, right? Because his last fight
JoJo's
at 130, yeah.
No,
Because he's been
no,
fighting at 130. Is this his second fight at 135?
like about second or third because he
second or
didn't even
third
fight the
fight.
Oh, he fought
Dominican.
Devin Haney. You're right.
No,
Yeah.
he thought David Haney and the Dominican also. That was supposed to be Ryan Garcia's fight, but
Yes.
Ryan Garcia got hurt. So this is like his second, third, right?
Fundora. Was it Fundora?
Fundora,
That he
yeah.
fought? Yes, you're absolutely
Yeah.
right. But you know what? To me, it would be an exciting fight, and
That'll be a great fight.
I still have Shakur Stevenson winning. By
Mm.
the way, I have him winning, but I want to see him fight a true slugger. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And Jojo Diaz, he's a slugger. This guy Camarón, I'm telling you, I'm a fan of his. He's a slugger and he's a boxer too. Now on that fight, I got Camarón winning, and that's
Okay.
going to be it. Now to me, that might be the fight of the year. Believe it or not, that
Oh, wow.
fight on the 29th, I see that potentially being the fight of the year. Now I
And
would like to see him fight somebody exciting, because
okay,
Shakur Stevens, another Mayweather, not the young Mayweather and old Mayweather. Hit, run, great boxer, great style. But like I said, once again, I want to see him get into a war. You know what I mean? He hasn't been in a war yet.
How I see it is, I think I want to see him with a boxer because he didn't look so good versus Conceição.
No,
And
he
we talked
didn't.
about it,
He
Dave.
didn't.
We said
No.
that if he doesn't know how to cut ring, it's going to
Yes.
be a long night. And guess what?
Yes.
It was a long night. And Ed, I'm sorry, he didn't look so well. I mean, he got hit, and I
no.
think in the 8th round, if I'm not mistaken, he got hurt in the 8th round. But ESPN doesn't talk about that.
No,
I don't know.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. The commentary
Big
commentary
time.
is biased.
Big time.
And I'm gonna agree with Impala right here. He never hurt Robinson. No, I don't think he ever
No.
really did. I don't
Yes.
think he ever did. He won the fight. He did outbox him, and he did win the fight. I would like to see Shakur fight Ryan Garcia so Garcia can stop chasing Tank. Yeah, the thing is about Garcia, he says he's at 140 now.
He's
So
at 40.
It's not gonna happen. Yeah.
look, I would like to see that fight.
Me too. That's a good fight.
Yeah, look, Shakur,
great
in my opinion, Shakur will beat Jojo Diaz. I think he'll beat Pitbull Cruz. I think he'll
That's
beat.
a good fight.
I don't think it is, man. I don't think it is. I think he'll just school
He'll
Pitbull
box
Cruz.
him. Yeah.
Okay.
Here's why. Here's why.
Now,
why.
you're probably right, Ed. You're probably right. Now that I think of it.
Here's why. At some point, size does matter. Okay. Shakur is tall, long arms. In my opinion, man, look, Ramson Consacquiao, he was pretty much his height, maybe even a little bit taller.
Yeah, I think a little taller.
Right? You saw what Shakur did to Oscar Valdez, who's a much shorter guy, shorter arms. You know, you get Pitbull Cruz in there. Yeah, Pitbull Cruz is a slugger. Pitbull Cruz got skills, but he's short, man, and he's got shorter arms. And like that is the number one key for Shakur Stevenson. I'm taller, longer arms, and I know what to do with a smaller guy. You get a taller guy that can match your length. Now I run into a little bit of problems. Go for it, Mike.
But Ed, never underestimate el boxeo mexicano del Distrito Federal, man. Never underestimate that. We've seen what happened to Tank, and we've seen all these Mexican nationals freaking put a black guy or disrupt the rising star in history. So Pitbull Cruz is Mexicano del DF. Never underestimate that.
But
So
Mike,
that's why I said it.
but Mike, Tank is a short guy himself.
Yeah.
You got two chaparrillos going at it, man. Now you got, I am being real. Now you got the Chaparrillo and Pitbull Cruz, who I like. By the way, man. And I'm glad that guy's getting a big fan base. I was there, and he's getting a big fan base. Like he's earning that. But now you got Shakur Stevenson, man. He's just gonna dominate short guys, man. It just is. You're gonna have to get a taller, lengthier guy, like a Devin Haney, like a Ryan Garcia, something like that. Maybe Lomachenko. I'm not saying Lomachenko's a tall guy.
He can't beat Lomachenko, Ed. He can't beat Lomachenko. Too much. He could box. Lomachenko could box him.
Look, I would love to see that, man. I really would love. I would really, really love to see that fight. I hope that fight materializes. Loma's my guy too. He really is. And if those two guys go at it, I'm over here like, damn, I like both of these fighters. I Personally, I would root for Lomachenko just because I like him. But I think it'd be better for boxing if Shakur won because Lomachenko is what, 34 years old? His career, he doesn't have much of a career left. And I think Shakur Stevenson winning that fight would bring more to the sport of boxing as opposed to Lomachenko winning that fight. But look, we'll see, man. He comes out with the victory, a little bit of a black eye because he didn't make weight. He didn't look all that great. But see, that says something to me. It says something to me like, as long as you're a chaparrillo with shorter arms, Shakur's got your number. He's got your number, man. So I think he puts it on Jojo Diaz and even Pitbull Cruz. Yeah, and even Pitbull Cruz. But
hey, we don't know until we see him at 135. What if he's totally garbage at 135? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
Joe Allen Boxing says Pitbull is a mini Mike Tyson. I agree. Look, he is a mini Mike Tyson. He's badass. Loma will take Shakur to school, in my opinion, says Hectic Nasty.
Oh yeah.
Look, man, I would root for Lomachenko. I really will because that guy, I really love that guy, man. To me, I just think I just think it'd be better for boxing if Shakur won, just because his career is gonna keep on going and going and going. But look, now he's moving on to 135. Now it's exciting. This is where I want to see him go. This is where I want to see him at. It's a shame that Devin Haney is most likely going to be moving up to 140 after the Kambosos fight. So, and by the way, I think Kambosos loses. I don't even think it's close, man. I think Haney just takes him out. But with that, guys, you guys want to get into a little bit of news on what's going on in the boxing world? Well, so one is Leo Santa Cruz is getting back into action against Lee Wood. Lee Wood actually was supposed to fight Mauricio Lara, and that fight fell through. And now we're going to see Leo Santa Cruz back in the ring doing his thing, man. Mike, what do you think about Leo Santa Cruz, man? Is he still, is he still a threat? Is he still, one of the top dogs? What do you see in Leo Santa Cruz, man? I think he's 33 years old.
Yeah. Man, Ed. Is he a champion? I think he holds a belt, no?
Yes.
Does he hold the belt?
At 126, yes.
The WBC.
He's a good name. He holds a belt. If any young stud coming up they're trying to challenge for the belt, hey, having Leo Santa Cruz under your belt, it's phenomenal. It's great. Do I think he's still a big threat? I think his time already passed. Too many wars, too many fights. Plus, the little guys don't last that long. He's a little guy, like we said. We talked about this. They don't last forever. They get old faster than the bigger guys. So I think it's about that time that he's just there to. I think he's just a name, a good name.
You think that nasty knockout they took from Tank just kind of like?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're gonna see, but I think so, man. Like I said, the little fighters get old fast, and I think it's about that time.
Yeah. Hey, David, Lee Wood's no punk, man. I mean, the guy's a good fighter, but
yes,
I think I'm gonna agree with Mike. I mean, Leo Santa Cruz is still a name. What do you say about Leo Santa Cruz?
You know what? With Leo Santa Cruz, I'm a big fan of his. I love Leo Santa Cruz. I've been following him since he was, for years now. I think he should vacate that belt. He should go to 130. I think he's going to have problems making 126 at 33 years old, 30, however old he is. Because all the belts are now vacant at 130, and he would make weight at 130. I think he's maybe 2 or 3 more fights before he retires. I would like to see him fight Conceição, fight Valdez for a belt at 130. Now that would be a money fight. It would be a great fight, but he should vacate that. He doesn't need to kill himself to make 126. I saw him at the last fight. He always goes to all the fights in LA, and he looked a little heavy. Why sacrifice when he could go to 130 and now become a world champion at 130? That's what he was trying to do with Tank Davis, and he got knocked out. Now, him and Valdez, great fight. Him and Conceição, great fight. There's some great fights. There's 3 belts available now because of Shakur Stevenson not making weight.
Yeah.
True. That's a good one. That's a good one, Dave. That's a good
I
one.
like that. What do you think?
I think that is the best move that Santa Cruz can do. I
Yes.
think Lee Wood. Yeah, I guess it's a good fight.
Yeah.
I do like the fight. I just don't think Leo Santa Cruz is the same guy that he's not the Leo Santa Cruz that we've come to know. And he took that nasty knockout, and it's just ever since then I don't see it in Leo Santa Cruz anymore. However, if he does move up to 130, could be a small resurrection of his career. He can still have at 33, he could still have like you said, there 2, 3, even 4, 5 more
Now,
fights,
could you imagine against Oscar Valdez? Dude,
Yeah, yeah,
oh, that would
that would be
fight.
that. I would love to be at that
Me
fight.
too. That would be a
I
great
would love to be at that fight. I think that atmosphere would be banging, man. I would love to be at that fight. Hey guys, Clarissa Shields,
Oh my God.
who is probably, I would say, the most popular female boxer. Some might make an argument that maybe Amanda Serrano or Katie Taylor, but I think Clarissa Shields is. She's came out and basically has said that Canelo, accused him of racism because he doesn't fight black and Mexican fighters. He's just fighting a bunch of white Anglo Euro guys, man. I heard you guys on Wednesday, so I'll give my first take on it. And then we'll pass it around. Look, okay. Clarissa Shields, I was a fan of hers. She was probably, I'm not gonna say the first female boxer because we go back in the day, right? With shoot, I forgot her.
Christy Martin, Layla Ali.
Christy Martin, yeah, those girls and stuff like that. But in the just recent years, Clarissa Shields is the girl that I've been watching. I saw her fight Christina Hamner. A few of her fights, man. I'm like, okay, all right, maybe we got a little something going here. She's always came off as just an angry individual. She's always came off as like, women can't get a fair shake here. And I'm trying to be pay-per-view. And how come they don't put me in a big arena and make it pay-per-view and we'll sell out, I'll sell out. And she always came like she always had just a bad attitude, man. Like not really willing to work with anybody. Just kind of like, hey, man, you know what? I need to make more money and you guys aren't paying me enough. Now, I will say, yeah, negotiate, but negotiate right. You just don't go and I need to make more money. You got to pay me. Right? Like you're not that big in demand yet if you ever get there, right? And you doing things like this is not going to get you there. She's tried her career out in MMA as well. So while I was a fan or still am a fan, if she does fight, I do watch. She is going to be fighting in the middle of October. And I will be watching. So I was a fan of her and of her in the ring. Now, I don't know. She's rubbing me the wrong way just because of all of it. And now coming out and saying things like this, it's like, listen, you don't even fight the dudes. Like, why are you over there inserting yourself in these situations? She seems like she's a big fan of Demetrius Boo Boo Andre. Like the guy's done so much. The guy has not even fought this year. He just pulled out of his fight. He has not fought this year at all. And my money says this guy's not going to fight in the year of 2022. So you got guys like Demetrius Andre. You got guys like Jamal Charlo. These guys have not fought at all. Forget about the competition. I'm not even talking about, who have they fought? What names? No, forget about all that. I'm just simply saying they have not fought at all this year. And there's nothing on the schedule that they got a fight coming up. No talks, especially with Jamal Charlo. With Demetrius Boo Boo Andre, at least there was a fight that was coming up with, what was it, Zach Parker, I think.
some Russian.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, at least he's gonna fight once. He pulls out of that fight.
Yeah.
These guys are not fighting. I'm not even criticizing their competition. I'm criticizing the fact that they're not even fighting, man. Mike, how say you?
Oh man, the same old story, the same old thing. Racial politics, identity politics. It's played out, man. Nobody's believing that no more. It's old news. It's whack, wacko tobacco, man. Canelo's racist. He doesn't fight. Those fighters don't fight nobody. First of all, second of all, Canelo fights black fighters. Mayweather is he black? We talk about this on and on and on. And they just keep saying stuff like that. It's just like putting a racial jacket on somebody. You don't do that, man. That's not fair for the sport. It's not fair for Canelo, and it's not fair for her. Why is she doing that, man? She's a great fighter, but when she opens her mouth, it's just it was Latino month this month or last month, something like that, right?
This month.
This month, and they were talking about this fighter, Latino fighter, this, and then she tweeted, well, how come they don't talk about black fighters? I'm like, dude, it's Latino month. Like, chill. We love black fighters. We respect Mayweather, one of the GOATs. Come on, man. But come on, stop shitting on us for you could come up or stuff like that. Like, it's not even about that, man. It's about these fighters that don't want to fight nobody. And Canelo's the A side, the cash cow, the numero uno. He could pick whoever he wants to fight. He's the man. So why? What's the big? I think she's all capped, man. She just wants the attention.
Yeah, so it was ESPN that tweeted it's Hispanic Heritage Month, and ESPN had tweeted the top I think Hispanic fighters that are champions, and then she comes back and she tweets somewhere along the lines like, I'll be happy when I see 10 Africans up there. And it's like, it's Hispanic Heritage Month. That wasn't, ESPN wasn't even trying to like push some sort of racial narrative there. I don't know what the issue is. I'll say you, David.
You know what, Ed, with all due respect, she doesn't even deserve an answer. You know what I mean? She doesn't even deserve one of my brain cells to even go overboard, working overtime to say, what about, she doesn't even deserve an answer, brother. You know what I mean? When you have somebody like that's looking for front page news, fake news, you know what I mean? That doesn't deserve an answer because number one, I mean, it doesn't deserve an answer, brother. You know what I mean? Just God bless her. If those are her thoughts and people want to believe that, God bless them. Like Canelo said when he won Triple G and they asked him about fighting Benavides, he goes, when I said I don't fight Mexicans, it's because I'm Mexican. I represent Mexico. But you put anybody in front of me, you pay me, and the fans want it, let's get it on. You know what I mean? And that's where Canelo is at. He made the mistake of making those comments, and everybody's jumping on the bandwagon now. But that doesn't deserve an answer. And I'm going to tell you real quick. I didn't want to talk so much on this subject, but Canelo wanted to fight Charlo. Charlo didn't sign the contract. Charlo, once again, he's another Bubu Andrade. All talk. And when they offered Bubu Andrade to fight Janabek, that's the new world champion at 160, he ran. And now they offer him to fight at 168. Not even a champion, but for an interim belt, Parker, he runs from that. So once again, that doesn't deserve an answer, brother. God bless her if she believes that. And those of them that believe that, God bless them. We know that Canelo will fight anybody for the right amount of money if the people want him. A boxer at that level is not afraid of anybody, Ed. We know that. They're not afraid of anybody at that level.
Okay, let me just say that look what Raider says, man. Bubu Andrade has pulled out more than I did my team. Impala, it's all racial with Clarissa. Yeah, it is, man. Yeah. And I'll say this. Look, I'm not gonna be over here a Canelo fanboy or anything like that. All I'm saying is nobody is doing more than he is.
Exactly.
Nobody.
In the sport of boxing, nobody is doing more than he is. You don't gotta like the guy. That's fine. Don't like him. That's all right. But there's nobody doing more than he is. So until somebody does, man, then we can acknowledge that. So that's that. But guys, Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. Okay. All right. So we have our bet. We have our bet for 100
Yeah.
push-ups.
Diamonds. I want diamonds.
No. Regular
So,
push-ups.
Okay. Okay.
okay. So let's talk about all this, man. Earlier this week, um, I received some information. I don't know it to be true. Okay. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's a lie. I'm just saying I received certain information from somebody that said Terrence Crawford suffered an injury. I believe it was his bicep or something like that. Again, I'm not putting rumors out there. I'm telling everybody the information that was given to me by a certain. I don't want to put the individual out there because it's not right.
By a
But
good source. I got the
yeah,
same.
yeah, by a
Very
good
good
source. Yeah, by a good source that
Yeah,
said that
very good.
Terrence Crawford has suffered a bicep injury and that the negotiations have come to a halt. Not that they're canceled, not that it's done, but it's all come to a halt. I have not seen outside of that source that personally gave me that information. I haven't seen anything that replicates that, man. David, what's your thoughts on this?
You know what? That source is my source too.
Yes.
He's never been or she's never been wrong.
Okay.
That source has brought information in the past that nobody knew. And when I Googled it, I asked, nobody knew. 3 days later, it came out.
Mm.
So, you know what? I believe Crawford suffered a bicep tear injury this morning in sparring. Negotiations to stage the undisputed championship fight, Errol Spence has come to a halt. Alternatives being planned. I believe that. And I
Okay.
don't think they're this source, she's never been wrong. He or she has never been wrong. And you know what? I'm reading it as it came in a couple of days ago, and
Yes.
it's probably true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it's ever going to go public?
I don't think so. No, because I mean, once again, I mean, if it does go public, it gives the advantage to Spence knowing that he has a bicep tear. And once again, I mean, I don't bet my house on this, but
Right.
this source has never been wrong. It's a source that knows boxing very well, and if they came from him, now if he is wrong or not, once again, I think that the fight was planned for November 19th, and it still might. You never know. But I think November 19th was a target date, and that they were going to announce it during the Canelo fight to take away from Canelo. I always predicted that, and that was the perfect week to announce it. But we got this about a week ago, so it makes sense, you know.
Yeah, again, Andrew saying I'm good. I'd rather see Crawford and Spence fight next year, 2023. Let's see. Look at the recent talk with Max Kellerman, ESPN, saying Al Heyman is holding up the fight. Yeah, look, again, man, we don't want to spread rumors, okay? This was information. And we're not saying like, orale, dog, we got all the inside
No.
scoop. No. But we do have somebody on that's got a good insight and they gave us this information that Crawford actually suffered a bicep injury and that the negotiations have come to a halt. Not that it's canceled, not that they're going to separate ways, but that has come to a halt. So I got David, just like you, I got no reason not to believe it, but just like you, I don't want to bet on it, and I don't want to say that this is what's happening because I don't know that.
Now, Ed, let me ask you something. Ed and Mike,
Yes.
let's say it's true.
Okay.
I want to see Spence fight. Won't you guys enjoy watching, or the people that are watching us today, our fan base, won't you love to see Spence fight Virgil Ortiz in Texas in December? Could you?
I would.
November 19th.
Look.
November 19th.
Yes, I definitely would, but it won't happen. If he is gonna fight somebody else, it's gonna be Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
If he fights somebody else, it's going to be Keith Thurman. Like I said, if right, because if this stuff comes to a halt, then Spence probably doesn't need to fight anybody. But if he does, then my money is on that it's going to be Keith Thurman, not any of these young guns. I don't think any of the well, maybe Terrence Crawford at one point, but I don't think Spence fights any of these young guns, man. And by the way, ay, cabrón, ¿cómo se llama el otro?
Boots, Boots Ennis.
Boots
Yeah.
Ennis has called him out right then and
Oh
there.
yeah,
So
yes.
but no, he's not going to do that. If he fights somebody else, it's going to be Keith one time or sometime. Oh, no time anymore,
Or
Thurman.
old time
Old
Thursday.
time Thurman, man. Yeah,
Everything goes with that. It rhymes with everything, man.
Mike, your thoughts?
Oh man, I just don't understand. How can these guys be pound for pound number one, number two, or number three? Crawford number one. Dude, they're gonna be like 34 already when they fight. Like this, come on, man. Al Heyman, from what I heard, is that what some of the percentages he's not sharing it with Crawford. He's not in the contract. They're not putting the whole details. So Crawford, like, nah, man, you got to be up front. They try to hide one of the percentages. I don't know the gates. I don't know exactly, and that's what's going on. And from the history of negotiations, Al Heyman is hard to negotiate. We've seen all those fights that went down south because Al Heyman wasn't it the kid from Tijuana versus Charlo. Even Pacquiao Mayweather. How long did it take? It was
Yeah, yes.
Munguia. Pacquiao Mayweather. It's just like is this gonna? It's gonna. Al Heyman doesn't care, man. He'll make that fight in 2 years. He don't care. As long as he gets his way. So, man, I don't know, man. If this fight doesn't happen this year, we said it already. Come on, man. I don't know.
Yeah, hey, Ed, real quick, un saludo, un abrazo muy fuerte a Rigoberto Alas Santos. He's watching us right now live from El Salvador. He's a colonel in the Salvadorian army, and he's watching us right now. He says right now, I'm watching you. He just arrived there in Salvador. Un gran saludo, querido amigo, y bienvenido al programa. Y una vez más, eres un chingón igual que nosotros. Watching us right now live.
Eso que sí. And then we got somebody, Joel in Boxing, saying we are watching from Colombia, South America. Man,
Colombia, primo.
About, man. That's what I'm talking about. Let me see. Paula says, Andrew is good. You're patient. Me, I don't want to see the fight. This ship is out of part and gone. Yeah, maybe this fight is gone.
I agree with you.
Yeah, maybe. And big shout outs to our brother right here, man. Look, guys. I don't know if anybody remembers, but Terrence Crawford, that's another guy who hasn't fought this year. Okay, his last
pound for pound, number one.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's my thing. Okay, so Terrence Crawford has not fought this year, and if this fight does not materialize, which if this, I don't know if I want to call it rumor. I don't want to disrespect. If this information that we received, if it's correct, then he's probably not going to fight this year. Okay, the pound for pound list, they got him at number one. I don't know, man. To me, you got to be active when you stop being active, when there's a lot of inactivity, it's pretty tough. Look, I was a big Mikey Garcia fan. And then for whatever reason, he's got his legal issues and all that. As a fan, it's like, man, I hope he just gets back into the ring. But inactivity at some point should count for something in the rankings and say, like, okay, you know what, man? Yes, you got somebody else over here who has taken a loss. But what did the person do? They try to go up in weight. They try to go down in weight. They try to capture a title, and they came up short. This guy is undefeated, and people talk highly about him, but this guy's not fighting, for whatever reason it may be. But he's not fighting, man. I like Terrence Crawford. I like his style. I want to see him fight. He has not fought this year.
But you know what, Ed? It's a sanctioning body. It's their fault because these guys should be defending their belts with either the next person that's in line. They should be defending. And I think he's a WBA. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody could correct me. If it's true, he hasn't fought for that belt in over a year. They should take that belt away, like they're talking about Fury taking his belt away for not fighting in a 1-2 year period. So I think it's a sanctioning body's fault also for not pushing it and saying, you're not going to fight, then we're taking the belt away. They've done it before.
Yeah.
Why are they making an exception to the rule? Because it's Terrence Crawford.
Yeah,
Yep.
and they're also trying to make this fight happen. So again, hey, what's up, G Funky? Again, for those that just tuned in, we're about to call it, but for those that just tuned in, we want to make it clear, okay? We received information from a credible source, okay? But we don't want to say that this is true, okay? We're making that clear.
Yeah.
We're not saying that this is true, that this is what's happening, but we did receive some information from a credible source that Terrence Crawford suffered an injury, a bicep injury, and thus negotiations have come to a stop for the Crawford Spence fight. Again, that's just information that we got. You guys do with it what you will, but we're not saying that that's accurate. We're just saying we received that information. So,
And you know what, Ed, before I forget, I like what Impala said. That ship has sailed. If the fight doesn't happen this year, then you know what? Let's see these guys fight against the younger ones. Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, and the other up and rising stars. Let's forget about that. Let's let these youngsters go in and fight them and forget about uniting the belts. They could unite the belts later. Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis can unite the fights later. But I agree with Impala. This fight, if it doesn't happen by the 31st, it's over. Ya estuvo. Let's
Wow.
let these guys, the young guys, come in, and let's have a new generation come in.
hey, why do you only mention Boots Ennis and Virgil? What about my guy Connor Ben, Holmes?
Oh,
What about my guy Connor Ben, who's gonna beat the brakes off of Chris Eubanks Jr., man?
That's
Hey,
a
what
weird
about my
fight,
guy
man.
Connor Ben, man? Come on, the destroyer Connor Ben, capital P, Holmes.
Connor Ben. He's good.
Connor Ben's my guy. Connor Ben is my guy. Although my favorite fighter right now is Virgil Ortiz, man.
Yeah.
But Connor Ben is my guy. I'm telling you guys. And David, I agree with you. If this fight does not materialize this year,
Ya estuvo.
look,
We're still gonna watch it.
yeah, if they
Come
still
on.
make it next year, people are still gonna watch it. People are still gonna watch it. But you know what? I believe it was G Funky that was on Ringside Reporter last night that was talking about, like, listen, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. Yes, the boxing world wants to watch this fight. There's no doubt about that. But stop acting. This is G Funky. I'm kind of paraphrasing. What's up, G Funky? He's right here, man.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he said something along the line like, yes, the boxing world does want to watch this fight. However, stop acting like these are two incredible superstars. This is not Mayweather Pacquiao. These guys are not two of the world's, biggest superstars. This is not two Canelo Alvarez's that are going to meet each other. Two great fighters and two fighters that, the boxing world does want to see and want to watch this fight. Yeah, but they're not on that level of where Mayweather and Pacquiao was at the moment. I'm not talking about the fight because the fight was a dud. I'm talking about the lead up to the fight. How, man, even non-boxing fans were like, oh, man, I'll pay $100 to watch that. And I don't even watch boxing. That's not where these guys are at. They're not on that level. So
I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah, so if they're not going to fight, man, move on. And I think Errol Spence will not fight the young guns. I do think Crawford will, though. I do think Crawford will. He fight the young guns, Errol Spence. If he does not fight Crawford, I think he'll fight Keith Thurman, then possibly move up to 154. And,
154.
Yeah. So, but with that, gentlemen, anything else before we call it?
Just watch the Spanish show and watch us right here, man. Fridays.
Quick announcement: next Wednesday, we're gonna have Israel Vasquez, a former world champion. He's gonna be on our show, and he's gonna be breaking down the Fundora, I believe it's Garcia fight, which is next week in San Diego and Los Angeles. He's gonna be Mike. That's what I called you last night on. That I talked to him last night. He agreed to be on our show, the Spanish show, to talking about Canelo, talking about Garcia, all the up and coming fights. That's what he wants to talk about with us next Wednesday at 7 o'clock on our channel, the Spanish channel.
Yeah, that's every Wednesday. Yeah, 7 o'clock in Espanol. And we're also going to be having some interviews and stuff dropping. We're not just going to be doing our Wednesday and Fridays. We're also going to be dropping content throughout the week. Just give us a little bit of time, man. But we're working on some things, man. But with that, that is my brother right there, Mike Zavala from Mike Angelino Sports. Right down there, that is the man that the Hurricanes are afraid of. He's out there in
That's a good
Florida,
one.
man, and he's whooping on those Hurricanes. They don't come near him.
No,
They don't come near. They don't come near him. They don't come near El Mas Chingon, man. David Contreras. So next, you guys catch him Wednesday. Whatever you guys do this weekend, David, be safe out there, brother. Okay?
Thank you, brother.
I know a lot of people are suffering from the hurricanes, man, but you stay safe out there, carnal. Whatever everybody does this weekend, be safe doing it. So we come back and do it again. To the next round. Buenas noches to all, man.
God bless.